Good evening, and welcome to How to Beat This Dumbass Team Special Edition, where we go over the 9 characters you need to rule the arena. You can use all different combinations of these 9 and pretty much take out any team you see on defense right now. So, it's going to be a little bit controversial about what I'm going to say about the one character, but let's go and take a look at them now in game. So let's get the controversy right out of the way. We'll start with the first character on the list in no particular order, and that is Morgan LaFay. Why is it controversial what I'm about to say? Because she is the one that is most likely to get knocked off this list. That's right, Morgan LaFay. I'm actually coming up with comps now on both offense and defense that do not use Morgan LaFay at all. The reason being is because of, well, a couple other characters on this list have pretty much destroyed her for defense. And when it comes to offense, well, there's not really any room for her. And because she's a mystic and you're usually going against other Morgan Le Fays, she kind of gets knocked out now. But she is a great character. She is a horseman character that we have to build. Of course, this could all change as soon as we get the Rogue Saga. So, who knows? Maybe this will change. But what makes her such a great character? Well, obviously, the big thing is actually her basic. The fact that this does a percent-based health steal every time she uses it. This is why we like to use Striker with her, because you're doing it twice, stealing up to 20%. Her resistance is out of this world as is. Never mind the fact that she gets 100% resistance with her passive here. She gives herself speed bar whenever an enemy takes a turn. She fills speed bar per mystic enemy, which makes her pretty fast normally. The problem is there's characters now faster than her that nerf her. Her speed is only 120 at base, a little bit slower, but because of that mystic stuff, we kind of overlooked it because of how fast she would go, because we were constantly using mystics against her. But her whole entire Darkhold team is gone from the arena meta. Don't believe me? Go look at how many Darkholds are left. Everybody's putting that dumbass team of Rogue, Red Hulk, Emma Dormammu, and who's the other one? Emma Dormammu. Oh yeah, Morgan. Her. No Darkhold. Who cares about the Agatha nerf? Agatha's already been out of the arena for months. Well, let's move on to the next. Now let's talk about Red Hulk. A pretty good character overall, but can be left off the arena team if need be. Now, he could come back. I think he has a little bit more staying power than Morgan, just because of another character that's going to be on this list and pops up a lot in teams, and it all comes down to his special, really. Clearing the revive once on target. Yeah, we already know who I'm talking about, Dormammu. But the fact that he also knocks turn meter back by 10%, and not just to the primary target, but the adjacent targets as well, means you have to really watch the positioning of the character you're going after. Now, normally you would put Red Hulk on defense behind a rogue, because you want him to get charges, right? Well, guess what? If you put him on defense somewhere else, it means your opponent can't go and reduce his turn meter and clear his revive once, or they have to choose to do that and not hit another character that could possibly be another annoyance that you'd want to knock back the turn meter on and get yourself a speed advantage. So, when you're setting him on defense, it might make sense not to put him anywhere near Rogue. Of course, on offense, you want him near Rogue because the AI is stupid and will hit him, giving you charges. So think about those things when you're putting him on defense as well. Now, I do run him as Striker, and he can hit incredibly hard. I'm talking over 500,000 damage with a basic. I do highly recommend the T4 in the basic, especially if you're using him in arena. He does a lot of counterattacks, and he will be hitting quite harder. And also running Striker. Everybody thinks about, oh, you got to get the vulnerable, you got to get the extra ISO attack. Well, those idiots always forget that Striker is a flat 20% damage bonus. Period. 20%. On a character that already does a ton of damage, this is why you want Striker on him. You don't really need the T4 in his ultimate right now, But I highly suspect, like say with the Death Horseman, there might be another battlefield effect coming. Just by observation, it makes sense that you might want that. And his passive is actually quite insane too, in the fact that on turn he heals for himself for 20% of his base health. Quite nasty. And of course he gets the charge, he gives himself extra focus, and for each charge, don't forget, he also gets faster and has a better chance to block and more counterattacks. More counterattacks, more damage he does. You can lose a character just attacking him because of those counterattacks. So he is quite good, but after Morgan, he would be the next one that gets dropped off this list. Let's move on. And now we come to Dormammu. It's easy to say why we would want him on the team because of all those nice revive once, but he kind of gets soft countered by Red Hulk, in that Red Hulk will take away those revive once. Now he's incredibly annoying because of what he does when you drop him too low, and that is go under stealth. Where is it? It's in here. He can't be stunned unless you put trauma on him. He gets more resistance per mystic character, and he goes into stealth and gets 30% block chance. He's really quite amazing. But even if you don't get the revive once, you still have this ability where he stuns and puts trauma on somebody and gains 3 charge. The charges are important. When he has charge, he's going to flip all positive buffs on an opposing player over. Never mind the fact that he has this big ultimate where he clears all negative effects himself, he heals up everybody, and does a bunch of damage, and it's unavoidable. Can't be blocked, can't be avoided, which is incredibly handy in this meta once we start talking about the 2 duos that are now going to be ruling the arena again. An offensive duo and a defensive duo. We'll get to them in a minute. Let's go take a look at the next character. Up next, we have Emma Frost, the oldest character on this in this series. A character who's been out over 2 years now, but what staying power has she had? And it all comes down to her passive of apply negative 10% speed to all enemies. Not speed bar, speed. If you had 100 speed, your character's now 90 if Emma's on the other side of the field. This speed manipulation, I should say, is her staying power. The fact that she can clear debuffs, great. The fact that she can put a mind control out there, also great. But she does a little bit weaker, though, especially in today's meta. Her stats are really starting to show her age. But she does get that diamond form and barrier, gets a little bit of staying power, but not too much. But it ultimately comes down to, again, that passive. And that's why she'll be around for a while, until we get a character to say is unaffected by that. She's going to be in the arena meta because it's all about speed. Now let's go to our last single character in the list. And now we come to the last horseman, Rogue. Now Rogue is a horseman's character stock who is definitely going up in the arena and just everywhere in the game. Never mind that we're getting her saga, in which case she'll be giving 25% damage to the other horsemen as well. Anybody who has to face a rogue knows how annoying it is if she gets her taunt off, and that she keeps it for 2 turns, gets safeguard, you ain't getting past her then. And the fact that she can stun and hit very hard is quite nice. She was dropping off the arena meta until Red Hulk came out. Then it became very important to protect Red Hulk, and she's also going to be important to protect one of our duos, as you'll see coming up. Just because they're a little bit lighter in the hit points right now because we don't have enough stars for them. But this is definitely a character on the up and up that you'll be looking to use in arena and elsewhere in the game. Let's move on to the first of our duos. So essentially there are 2 duos now in the arena. An offensive duo and a defensive duo. We're going to start with the defensive duo, and we're going to start off with this one right here, Spiderweaver. Now, she can be used on her own, but if you use her in the duo, she's even better. What makes her so good is getting those charges, which you can get 3 right off the bat using this, and you might get a stun and trauma, who knows. Her focus isn't great. Again, the duo helps. But once she gets charged, it comes down to her ability here that on charge, everybody misses. Well, they got 100% less accuracy to be pretty much. And also, the nice thing about her, if you can line it up, is enemies killed by this character cannot revive. However, don't look for a whole lot of damage out of this character. She doesn't do a whole lot. So it's rare that you can actually pull it off where you actually get that anti-revive mechanic, but it does help against like Dormammu teams and Darkhold teams. You can run her as Striker, you can run her as Fortifier, especially at lower star levels, depending on what you're doing. Especially in the arena, Fortifier is actually quite great, because don't forget this basic is based off of her health, and keeping her healthy is good. Now, in other game modes like Cosmic Crucible, it's better to have Striker on her. I flip back and forth as needed. Because in Cosmic Crucible, she gets extra barrier to help protect her. But don't forget, protect that health, you get more bonus attacks, which hit quite hard. And you have to definitely do the T4 here on this special in order to get that extra charge. Just watch when you're using it, because you don't want to be wasting it and not getting a charge. But don't forget, it is also a heal, and it does give out buffs. In that effect that it gives out, because she's getting defense up and offense up, and then it will spread those buffs to other characters, excluding Taunt himself, to all Tangled Web allies and 2 other random allies. And since we're going to be using another Tangled Web ally with her, this is essentially 3 characters on top of her who will get offense up and defense up on this special. Incredibly powerful. Now let's go look at the other half of the duo. And here we have 2099, or just 99, Spider-Man 2099, the newest entry into the arena. And my god, does he make it great with Spiderweaver. You must have Spiderweaver with him in order to use him in the arena. That is why they are a great duo. And why, you might you ask? It all comes down to this. On spawn, if Spiderweaver is an ally, gain speed up. He has incredibly good speed normally, 127. With this, he's up around 190. He will go first. Period. And because of that, you use his ultimate usually. At least right now in the arena, you use his ultimate. And you attack all enemies. You can clear 3 positive effects from whoever you pick as a good target. AKA Dormammu, if there's one on the team, you can clear his positive effects real quick. But the big thing is, if he applies the slow onto, like I say, on Morgan LaFay will not go before Spiderweaver. Spiderweaver will go first before Morgan. Get the charges, and Morgan starts missing. Or you can be putting it on somebody else and just, going first. The other big thing is he fills the speed bar by 20% for himself and Tangled Web allies. This speeds up Spiderweaver. You're pretty much only going to be using this once per fight. I've never seen it ever used twice. In fact, he usually dies, to be honest with you, after this. But he does his job. Now, he does have a turn 1 ability block, which may become in handy in the future. That is another option, but he doesn't have very great focus, so you're going to have to run Skirmisher on him in order to get that focus up. Although he does help out Spiderweaver with her focus by giving 50% focus to Tangled Web allies and giving it to himself as well. So he is pretty good at landing those slows even on Morgan LaFay, but it's definitely not guaranteed. And if you don't land it, it is possible to keep winning, especially when you combine them with the next duo. And yeah, you had to see this coming. You know who the offensive duo is. That's right. The almost 1-year-old Eternals. That's right. Cersei is the first one we'll talk about. I do think she's an overall better solo character if you had to pick one or the other. But in reality, you need both of them to make them work right. And it all comes down to how powerful they are, hitting all enemies, reducing speed bar by 25%, getting speed up, getting regeneration, and in the arena, generating ability energy on top of this. Now, the taunt's really not that important. Sometimes it puts it on Dormammu, who cares? You end up killing him anyway. And she can clear 3 negative effects as well. Incredibly powerful. And then on top of this, she has a stun, which it's calling assists and just doing a whole bunch of damage. Absolutely insane. You always run her as the Skirmisher because you know who is the... And last but not least, her partner in crime, Icarus. Now he is the damage dealer of the two, and on top of this damage, he gets extra focus, flipping those positive effects into negative effects. Great for flipping defense up into defense down. He attacks all enemies. He reduces the speed bar. All the speed bar manipulation between the two Eternals is 50% speed bar. You can knock out quickly and really control the fight with the turn meter. So a great team might be, I don't know, Emma, Spiderweaver, 2099 in the Eternals. Yeah, it pretty much rips through that whole new dumbass team of Rogue, Red Hulk, Morgan, Emma, and Dormammu. If they land the slow with 2099. If not, you can still win. It's just a bit more difficult. But these are the 9 characters you need to in order to rule the arena with different combinations to take on different teams. As we keep coming up with hybrids, are there other characters you could use? Yes. But you don't really need them. You don't need Doom. You don't need Kestrel. You don't need Omega Red. You can come up with a combo of these 9 and pretty much win everything. As far as defense, nothing holds. It would be nice if somebody came up with something more creative. Maybe give me a challenge. I haven't found it lately. Until next time, everybody.